Today also very busy. I just came back from my company. We have a movie and also yoga by the bay at the
Yoga by the bay.
MBS there, next to the MBS there. We're having yoga exercise, and after that followed by they have a movie for next 2 days also for movie. We just keep our finger crossed because there's a public event or a celebration event. So if anything happen to LKY today or what, all the event will be cancelled. So fortunately,
BG and picture one from with sunset one. You can see your Yahoo.
is somebody cook out or
BG block. Prime Minister block.
or PM block
That one cannot block one.
or the background change
The background don't know why it's coming on top. And then got one sunset.
Wow, you're so observant.
Purposely put that type of thing.
First time
Yeah.
because his advisor is waiting for him
On his website. You put Yahoo.
Any miracles that can happen?
Yahoo.
Anything can
Actually
happen.
tonight there are quite a few areas also for certain event on, but they're also keeping their finger crossed. Okay, after this FOMC meeting this week, Wednesday they released the minutes of the meeting, all this. So the US market has been so far very kind to those investors down there.
He said if LKY pass away, what will happen? He said one big event.
Huh?
What
Just
will
that
happen? Public holiday or what?
One day only.
No lah, maybe so lah.
I don't think there will be a public
Future years may have Founders Day.
I mean, if there's by popular demand by the citizens and the cabinet people, I mean, it can happen. I mean, why not? Our so-called founder.
Half rate definitely, but I don't think half rate. Remember 1 year our president passed away also, no?
Half day only lah. The funeral only lah.
I think no holiday, but you go down the road, maybe the population wants it.
For the civil servant and maybe the schools, they may declare
Schools.
half a day or close for a day for them to pay respect and all that.
School, I think full day.
See, if he pass away, what can happen?
Stock market.
When the police say, where they martial law or what?
No lah,
I mean, there is unlikely got any so-called political or this or politics related to the political environment or our neighboring countries may not use such an event to attack us or what all these things. Those scenarios are unlikely to happen because you don't forget, the US, the 7th Fleet is parked at the naval base there. At Changi Marine. So, and Jurong Island, we have how many billions of investment down there? Got all the MNC from US, from Germany, from all. I mean, the asset sitting down there, the interest of the foreign countries inside that those kind of investment here will try to deter any aggression. I mean, if there's any maybe some funny people like those days in Indonesia confrontation time, whether maybe some funny people from Indonesia, radicals people may cause some trouble. But the good relationship that we have established with the armed forces in the region also will so-called help to cushion or suppress any of these likely event happen. Anyway, the two troublesome areas, I mean the Koreans, North Korea, and the other one, the ISIS that in the Middle East, quite far away and they have not much argument with us or any so-called unhappiness with us. So far, I think they have their troubles to settle, so I don't think they have time to kind of disturb us. Of course, there are some very, very rich people maybe unhappy with heavily before, they may try to stir up something or put something on the social media and all these things, whereby their effort is minimal one. They may try to be funny over that side. But other than that, if you want to so-called do some serious type of thing, in terms of aggression, very unlikely. Because our armed forces has been on standby, and the police has been on standby, everyone has been on standby all this while already. So even civil servants, a lot of things are on standby, so they are so-called on the alert. Those people in armed forces or those in the intelligent people, you will know, they already, their so-called their holidays, their leave has been postponed for a while already. So slightest thing they will be recalled back to duty and all these things. So all the while they have been on standby and all these things. Or for all you know, maybe a non-event and just things just happen at this and all this. Because our Harry Lee already stated, even his own house, he openly said that if this is going to be a hindrance to the price of the property around his house, he said, you all demolish my house, don't use it as a remembrance, and then tender out so that the public can build property around the area and those surrounding people will be happier, so their property price can go up. I mean, he also don't have this selfish so-called interest after they pass off. They say, I mean, the moment you are gone, you are just going to be remembered, for certain things, but you don't want to be idolized like Mao Zedong or something like that, by your picture or your statue standing somewhere to be remembered. I would believe they will build some statue somewhere.
The other thing is he signed the advanced medical directive.
Yeah.
But who said they are not following it?
Not that they don't follow it. Actually, advanced medical directive is quite often is meant for the medical field people to harvest the organs of the person about to pass off, so that if there's a requirement for some transplant, kidney or liver or whatever transplant, I mean, since you are already like you are making use of the machine to survive, so they might just tap to use the organ for this thing. I'm sure some of the experts are really trying to tap or try to study the brain, or what type of brain he has. As for the other organs, maybe not so useful already. So they may use it for medical studies or for those.
Einstein they preserve his brain.
That's more for medical studies and all these things. But other than that, may not be useful for transplant and all these things. Anyway, coming back to Zai, actually this one is something that the SGX has recently established, to be exact about early March this year. So they are doing a lot of things to help the investing public to so-called do their own things. So this is something add on to what I have discussed with Tao about the stock, what called stock page the other time I spoke about. So this one is they are allow you to use your mobile phone, whether iOS or Android system. You can download an app called SGX Mobile. You download the app and then you can use the app to access the news, access the prices, and look at all the announcements and all these things. So, but beside that, there are some other things that is on the SGX website that I want you to be aware and make use of it if you want to get involved in the Singapore stock market. So, we just started. So we start with the disclaimer first. So the information and material provided in this talk is for education purpose only. Nothing presented in this talk should be construed to be a recommendation to buy and sell any specific security. The information software and techniques presented should only be used by investors who are aware of the risks inherent in trading. Singapore Microcomputer Society (SMS) in short, and its executive committee have no liability for any investment decision based on the use of software, any trading strategies, and any information provided in connection with this talk. So getting started in investing stocks is the title using your smartphone. So the whole discussion will end with the part on the SGX mobile, this part. Why so fast? Hold up. So introduction to investing in the stock market, reason and setting goals, understanding basic types of investment products, stock analysis, getting started, how to open CTV account, trading account, enrolling your broker, helpful tools, stock fact we have touched before. Today I will discuss more on the SGX mobile app, and then so that a lot of things you can have it or more information on the go. I think for those who are already have an account with SGX, the last time your statement sent to you, I think they enclose, I don't know whether they enclose this information down there. Okay, on the SGX website, you may have able to locate this one. They say, welcome to SGX Investor Roadmap. So in this portfolio, you will have 5 headings: introduction, understanding basic, getting started, helpful tools, and more basic. So instead of going on this one, I will switch. This is the static one. I will go to the website itself, and so you can. Okay, you see the website. Okay, the website URL is called in sgxgateway.com, sgx.gateway.com, sgxmygateway.com. You can key sgxmygateway.com. It's a HTTP on no S. So you can go there and you can access this. So the introduction part, they will have explained why you should consider investing in the stock market and give you an overview of 2 common investment goals. Reason to invest and setting goals. So whatever we do, we always must find a reason why you want to do something, and then when you do something, you have to set some objective just like you want to come to Bishan today here. Okay, you have to take a train from this area, come reach here to set the goal to come here. So reason to invest. They have here is how come it's not showing this page? Oh. I'm still on this. not responding.
Oh, Wednesday. Oh, you? No, just
It's still showing this. Can anybody tell me what's wrong? I cannot go. You refresh the camera, I mean the input.
same one.
Oh, first resolution. Okay. Screen resolution not compatible for both.
Showing the same thing.
Yeah.
Because second screen, you're using Windows one.
Into 8.
Windows 8. I also got this problem. Let's go to resolution.
Yeah, because they say that the
You must say go to resolution. Then you say that show both screen on the same screen. Then after that, it will be exactly what you see. Maybe a slightly lower resolution than mine. You go to the desktop. desktop. Just minimize this window first. Okay, right click the resolution, screen resolution. And we'll let go fix OK. I think these are multiple display, don't extend. Okay, click downwards. Show
Duplicate display.
not big. What the other one? Yeah, try this. Apply. Okay, let's see.
This is not the optimal 1366 by 76.
Maybe I have to change the resolution a bit. Yeah, come in. No. This is 1280 by 800.
This is recommended.
Okay. Yeah, apply and see. But is it showing the same one? Maybe you have to go down a bit. What is the recommended one?
1366 by 76.
I think I have to maybe lower down a bit. Because I was 1280 only. Down a bit. Yeah, then apply. See. This Windows always got this problem. Second screen. Last one, what they say? What the last one say multiple display? Went to something else, right? Okay, see 1280 by 300. What does it say now? It never say show. It never say show.
This screen 2. Detect.
But what you show is screen 1, right? Not screen 2.
Shut down.
I think it's just okay. The thing you know how we live, it's just really okay.
Change the display.
Okay. What is the last one you got?
Screen 2.
Oh, okay. Keep the changes. But size, is it the same? Okay, let's say keep changes here. But now you want to have see now the flower and your desktop are on the same screen except here. Here is step 10 there. You want here to that.
City Hall is a bit further, but it's okay. City Hall. Earlier station. From the
The problem is
but
all
in
your
one
screen don't have.
the fare is cheaper.
So I have to look at the other screen.
The fare is cheaper. So
Let's not sit here.
yes,
That's one way lah. Sit here, look at this screen.
Okay, sorry. So we go to here now, because the screen resolution.
I think your neck afterwards lah. Let us sit here. Where you go with your neck one-sided already.
Sorry about it. So we have to, because just now was doing the slide on my PC using the. Then I switched to this internet, you see. So since then the resolution is different. So okay, now we look at reason to invest. Simply means saving money in your bank account is only part of your investing journey. So the deposit rate remaining low as about 0.5% per year. So you have to find investment that generate return higher than to stay ahead of your inflation, which has a range from 2% to 6% per year in Singapore. So shares is one of common investment choices. So why we want to invest? one is capital growth, that means to make your money work for you. The other one is dividend yield. So when you buy shares, you have, of course, you don't buy those penny stock that they don't pay dividend. You buy those shares that they pay dividend. Then also, just like you buy a property, you're only investing in one type of asset class. Whereas if you buy shares, let's say you buy REITs, you buy property developer or what, so you are able to diversify into different aspects related to property business. So in SGX itself, you have about 800 companies. So they are having different type of businesses and serving different markets, and also in different business cycle. So you can have, with one company with only a minimum of 100 shares, now that you can buy effective 19th of January, you can buy shares in size of 100. So you can in a way diversify or so-called diversify your portfolio. So another way to diversify investment is through ETF. ETF is similar to buying so-called those funds, like similar to unit trust. So nowadays there are different type of ETF. So of course there are some ETF that are called synthetic ETF, but by and large the ETF you can also invest in Singapore-based ETF or ETF of a group of shares that is invested in overseas, or sometimes ETF of a index fund. So, but in Singapore you can only buy the STI ETF, or the other one is the Spider ETF. There are only 2 ETF that is designated in Sing dollars. So the other reason why you buy shares or invest shares is that is liquid. Liquid means you can buy and sell at ease. For example, you buy a piece of art, very beautiful art, you buy, you auction, you get it. But the moment you want to sell off the piece of art, you find that it's very difficult to sell, because you have to go to another auction area, or there are some people fall in love with your art, then you can sell. Similarly, you buy a high-end property. Probably this week you read in the newspaper, the Daiso, the Japanese boss of Daiso, they buy the high-end property in this Sentosa Cove or what? San Miguel. They lost how many million?
Almost half.
They cut loss. They cut loss by the millions. So the rich man game is cut loss by the million.
And they say it's small thing,
I mean, when you do multi-million, it's a billionaire,
It's a world billion.
So that gives you a so-called understanding means by liquidity. Whether you buy artwork, you buy property, or buy share, always think from the angle of liquidity. Take for example, SBS Transit. This share, you want to buy and sell, is quite difficult. On average, you find that the number of shares transacted for that counter is not so much, because those days people who buy this share is for the SBS pass, so most of the time they're hardly transacted. So those are known as poor liquidity shares. Similarly, for ETF in Singapore also, the STI ETF is also quite illiquid, in the sense that you want to buy, let's say, $7,000 worth of ETF. Sometimes you have to queue long to get it, or you have to call the market maker to help you to release the shares for you to buy.
I thought they have an agreement that they must have how many.
So they have to supposed to make market for a certain size, but sometimes you'll find that somebody already buy, then you want to buy, not available for you to buy or to sell.
Then sell worse.
Same. You have to sometimes call the market maker to put up the bid for you to buy or to sell.
I think they can put very low price.
No. It is quite, not so white elephant, but quite close to the last transacted price. So there's an advantage of this, but the other thing is transparency. you can see the price of share you want to buy or sell. So in the sense that, not like you play card like that, you cover the card, you don't know what is the next.
Today there's a paper, one broker, before opening the fellow put some fake transaction.
you
How come
will be-
there's some fan?
Okay, after the talk, we talk about that.
You'll be clear.
So it may take longer than counterparty to agree to transact. So these are the reasons for so-called investing in share. So the next area we have to look at is the setting goals. So the two tab is down there. So that's how we talk about reason to yes, the setting goal. So introduction to setting goal. Investment, whatever you do, you have to set goal. You want to study to qualify as a doctor or lawyer, you have to set goal. How many years to study, where you want to study, and all those things, right? So investment also, you have to set investment goal. You have to put in the bank less than 0.5%. You like to maybe generate about 6%, 7%, inflation 2. You still at the end of the day you still got 5%, something like that. So the strategy, whether you invest in ETF, invest in bonds, or invest in whatever, then you have to identify the investment product. So here the consideration. Setting a goal start with understanding why you are investing in shares. There are many individual goals as for growth or capital gain for regular income. Up to now, in Singapore context, capital gain is not taxable. So that's why the joke is in our industry is that I buy share, I make money, the government cannot tax me. Why? Because if I buy share, I lose money, the government won't give me rebate back for the losses. So as a result, they cannot tax me. That's why last time Peter Lim, the king of the remiser, make tons of money. The government cannot tax him for the capital gain. But for the commission he generates to the broking house, they can tax him for the commission. But for the buying the share, the Wilma he bought at few cents and then become now $3, the government cannot tax him. Those are capital gain. There's another rule of capital gain also, like you buy property. If you buy a property, you hold it more than 18 months, or even you buy shares for a company that is listed with their M&A, your articles or association of your company is to buy share as an investment, then you have to hold at least 18 months. Then you sell, then the company will not be liable for trading profit. Alright. So if you are interested in having the value of investment grow quickly without needing any cash payment, then you are like a growth investor. Contra player is like a growth investor. On the other hand, if you are depending on income payout from investment, then you are income investor, right? For those people who buy SPH every year, wait for the dividend payout, those are the income investors now. Similarly, you buy all the share, also every year they pay you dividend twice a year, also the income investor. What's the growth and income investor? For investor, from your investment point of view, capital gain and growth is more important. For growth investor, capital gain is more important. For income investor, having income stream is important. Take for example, a retiree no longer have so-called earning a salary. So when you invest, you want income investor. That means from the dividend, you hope to have what I call passive income to help you to make up your expenses, all these things, right? And also help you to also buy something. Growth investor is, take for example, for those people IPO, last time they bought the shares of, let's say, venture manufacturing, the IPO price was 30 something cents. You hold the share until now, 20 years later, now the share is worth $7 something. At one stage it go to $14 something. Those are growth investors. That means you grow for smaller capital outlay. Over the years, the share price, bonus issue or what, the number of shares going up. So those are growth investors. Company or stock selection. So you identify companies that have the potential to grow, or those revenues and earnings are expected to increase at a faster rate than each year. For income investor, you identify companies that pay dividend consistently. This now you can do because the stock fact there you can find out whether your objective the company can fulfill your objective. You can use that to do your own research. So relevant financial information. So you will look at data or the ratios like ROE, net profit margin, current ratio. Then for the income investor, you look at dividend yield, earning per share, payout ratio. So the risk to be aware, there is more aggressive form of investing which require more active portfolio manager. If you are a growth investor, don't forget, normally the share don't pay you dividend. Take for example, you buy Alibaba.com in US. All the tech stocks, by and large, they are so-called high growth company. Normally, unlikely they will pay you dividend because they plow back the profit to generate more businesses for the company. So those can be very risky also, because if the company cannot keep on growing and expanding the way that they promise to be, then you'll find that your share price also will come down quite fast also. During IPO time, Alibaba was trading quite close to $100 over, now dropped back to 85 already, and pulled back about almost 20%. And then recently, Alibaba, they have what call moratorium. You know, all newly IPO shares company, whether in Singapore or overseas, they have what I call moratorium in the prospectus, saying that the major shareholder or those what I call investors, they call it some of the investors like Temasek or GIC, they invested in Alibaba during the what I call the alpha phase or borrow phase of the early phase of investment before they go IPO. So under the ruling, they are supposed to be the what I call the anchor investors for the company. So effectively, they are not supposed to, once the company go IPO, they are not allowed to immediately dump their share. They have to sell at different time frame. Some after 3 months they can sell some 100%, some after 6 months they can sell 100%, some after 1 year they can sell 100%, but they cannot sell 100% all what they are holding, because by virtue of these so-called anchor investors that they are holding so much share, the market cannot absorb. They have to do a placement and all these things. So that's why they have this moratorium to prevent the share from collapsing because of the major shareholder dumping the market. So they have moratorium. So only this week, Alibaba.com, the moratorium has allowed the major shareholder to release some share in the open market, a certain percentage. So as an investor, sometimes you have to understand this type of time horizon. So if you want to sell a share during when the major shareholders moratorium are being lifted, chances are the share price will be depressed for a short while. So you may not able to get a good price if you wish to sell. So the two investment goals and stars are not mutually exclusive. I mean, they say that growth investor and income investor is not mutually exclusive. Means when you go for growth, doesn't mean that you cannot have income. Similarly, when you have income, doesn't mean the company won't grow. There are cases, some company, they are grow company, but at the same time they also give you certain dividend. So sometimes that means these two objectives can happen at the same time also. Right? So if you find a company that offer you both growth and income, that means you have the best of both worlds. So what is growth and what is income? Value investors generally, they are going for growth. So that means they participate in the business of the company at the very early stage of the IPO or the pre-IPO investment, and then they will hold on to it for couple of years to grow the company. So this is what I call, some people term it as multi-bagger. You know? So your small investment, maybe they say 50-cent share. After 5 years down the line, it may become few dollars, $4, $5. So the growth is very substantial or exponential type of growth. So that is why IPO is very popular with a lot of small time investors, because you only need to park a small amount of money there, and then you just ride along. If you have so-called trusted the owners of the company, what they tell you, all these things, and it is promised, and then you deliver, then you can grow with it. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if you are somebody who want to really make your money work for you, you don't need to be very rich. You need to be so-called very careful and very patient. If you have studied and understand what the company do, and you trusted the owners of the business that they will do this to grow and all these things, and then you follow what they are doing over the months and years. So if they fulfill it, then chances are your share price will go up accordingly, right? But sometimes along the way, you also understand some of the businesses because of competition. Take for example, last time the LCD or the LCD, the TV and all these things, after the CRT, right, the new phase of technology is LCD, right, before the LED monitor come up. And initially LCD as well LED monitor, because of the difficulty to get the yield from the panel, the LCD or LED panel. So the cost of doing that, last time I bought a Philips 16-inch or 18 LCD monitor, cost me $2,000 last time. The time when the technology was so slow. Now you can see LCD already more or less obsolete because of the heat. Now you come to LED. LED initially also the yield of the panel also not so good. Slowly now it becomes so cheap and become bigger and bigger size because it's able to overcome the technology so-called barrier, right? So something that is so-called expensive and difficult, but if technology can be improved and overcome, you can find that the thing become very no more so-called so expensive, and you can flood the whole market, and then it become very cheap. Then everybody will benefit lah. But along the way, then you have to see. Initially is technology marvel, later become a commodity product. Now you can see that, like all the screen on your handphone and all these things, they are all using LED technology, and now they have the OLED and all these things. So you can find that things become much low cost. Okay, next we move on to reason to, after that, now we go to the understanding the basic reason to invest. Now we go to type of investment. Since this is a Singapore investment environment under Singapore Exchange, so we don't have so many type of industries. Primarily we have many financial, the banks, then you have the real estate investment trust. Last time we only have real estate company, that means people build house and sell house. Now they structure the property into REIT, and Singapore is one of the more successful REIT, so-called listed companies in Singapore. Initially, when we want to start off with REIT, it was quite difficult compared to some other country. Actually, we learned how to do REITs from Australia. And Hong Kong also launched quite a bit of REIT, but they are not so successful compared to Singapore. So for those people, the whole region, that means Southeast Asia region or Asia region, Singapore REIT so-called is pretty popular because they pay quite consistently the certain dividend, and they have been so-called able to deliver so far. So you invest in stocks, that means it's single stock exposure. You exchange fund, that means it's a group of stocks going to a fund. REIT is also a group of properties make up the REIT, right? So, and the REIT got different type. You got shopping center type, you have industrial property type, you have residential type, you also have hospitality type, you have logistic type, right? So you have industrial, commercial, so you can expose to different sector of the real estate. So as for ETF, we only have two for Singapore dollar designated. But if you are investing in ETF outside Singapore, most of them are designated in US dollar. But for that, you need to pass the SIP